All right. So for today, we're going to talk about some goal setting and then just goal tracking stuff, and then we'll get into the KT drill first go. But when it comes to goals, guys, like if you just say, I want to get better, right? You can't measure it. There's no start and end. There's no way to actually objectively, right? Objective. Here's the does everybody understand objective versus subjective? I bet, is there anyone that doesn't understand objective versus subjective when it comes to measurement? Okay. Well, just ladies, you'll appreciate this one, right? The funniest way I ever heard this explained was objectively, right? My wife has, a 36 double D bra. Subjectively, just opinion, she has big boobs, right? Like there you go. There's the definition. Right? That's the easiest way like one is specific, it's measurable. The other one is an opinion. Is really the easiest way to sort of look at that. And so when you have something that is specific and measurable, right? That's the way you can actually test it. So a just vague sort of hope is I want to be an RVP someday. I'm going to be an RVP, right? You can't you can't measure that. You can't, it's not time bound. You don't have any way to track it. Specific objective goal says I will be an RVP by September ECBS. Okay, that's a specific goal, measurable, right? Well, obviously, measurable is either you have the contract or you don't, but inside of measurable, you can build like sub categories of sort of gateway, like gates that you need to pass through, right? And so the example that I put in there this morning was in response to what Matt did, but it was like 5 in the morning. So Matt and I were texting directly because I didn't want to blow your guys' phones up, right? I'm weird. Sometimes I wake up at like 4:30. I can't go back to sleep. I just go to work. It's too cold. It was too cold to go outside and walk, so I just went to work, right? I just got in the office. But so inside of that, okay, perfect. So be an RVP. Well, what the hell do you need to do to be an RVP? You have to be investment licensed. So let's back that timeline up, right? Matt, pass your SIE by this day, then pass your Series 6 by this day, then your Series 63 by this day, right? That's controlling the controllable. But if you just sort of throw it out there that I'm going to get investment licensed, cool. Me too, right? But if you never put it on the calendar and you never book it and you never like hold yourself accountable, because that's really the biggest thing when it comes to goals, guys. Like it has to be specific, measurable. Now, the A and the R, right? Whether it's achievable, attainable, who cares, right? But what that really comes down to is not setting yourself up for failure, right? You shouldn't say, I want to be a senior national sales director before you've even become a regional vice president, right? So that, like saying that would not really be attainable. Like saying I'm going to be an SNSD by ECBS is crazy. It just, I'm not going to grow 9 direct regional vice presidents in 8 months. It's not going to happen. Okay. So give yourself some grace in that way. And then the R is sorry, like realistic. And that's where they can kind of like go back and forth in terms of um like the different versions of realistic or relevant. And so relevant would be like what do you have to do in order to achieve those things along the way, right? And then time bound is where we say that's truly the one because you start getting close to that deadline and you haven't done any of the things along the way to get there. Well, are we going to hit it? Probably not, right? Probably not. And so let's look at some of these here really quick that you guys just put in. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, going back through these. Good. Good, good, good. So Haley, for you especially, right? Short term, fill the pipeline. What the hell does that mean? Right? And and it's not that there's anything wrong with that. Like that's a great goal, but it's not smart, right? It's not specific. You can't measure it. Because at the end of the day, you can't hold yourself accountable with that. And then long term, yeah, RVP, cool, right? But then like by when? Okay. Bump, 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 bump. Even Angela, right? Hers was a little better, but then not all the way, right? All right, so let's see. Do, 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 do. I put the smart stuff in. Perfect. Okay, so Jen, short term, 3x3 onboarding completed this month, right? So your goal for February is 3x3 that have done orientation and all that, right? And then bum. So and then this is why we need to get specific, right? Because you said 3x3 by February and then 5K premium by month end. So that's really 3x5, right? And so and if you go recruit three directs this month, by the end of the month, you should really be closer to nine in reality, right? But for sure, 3x3. And then are you in a course right now that's how to pass the SIE?
I signed up for one. It's on the 17th.
Oh, okay. Okay. Is that through home office or what is
It came through Primerica. It was like a notice that came through something. I'm not sure if I went in there and saw it or and found it, or if it came up as a like an I can't remember how I found it, but it was through our Primerica online. It came.
let me show you guys something just in case you haven't seen this yet. Mm-mm-mm-mm. So on the securities licensing tab, so there's free webinars, right? And so Jen, I think this is the thing you probably signed up for.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep. So if you look at the calendar, there are webinars almost every day of some form or fashion, right? Now, do you really want to like plug in for 3 hours a night at night? I don't know, right? That's up to you. It depends how much you are struggling with different content, I would say, right? But it finishes 4, 5, 6. I think that's it. Like that's the entire SIE, right? So it's like 2 weeks of SIE and then it goes 63 and 26. There's a little bit of six going on in there. And then 26 and then boom. And then next month it starts over, right? And so it's not like every day. But then, March, it's the same thing. First 2 weeks are SIE and 63, 65, 26, right? That's just the way it goes every single time. And so like just from a licensing perspective, right? Look how much time is dedicated to the Series 6. One day. How much time is dedicated to the 63? 2 days. Well, I guess Series 6 has multiple days, right? But they're not as intense. My point on this, guys, is once you've gone through the curriculum for the SIE, the Series 6 is the same curriculum. You're just being asked to apply the data versus know the data. Does that make sense? So a Series 6 exam and the SIE, back in the day, they used to be one big test, but not enough people were passing it. And so FINRA broke it apart. And so now everybody getting investment license takes an SIE. And then whether you're going to go mutual fund route, which is Series 6, or you're going to go stock specific, which is a Series 7, that's called your top off exam, right? And then once you've done that, the next level up is the 63, and that's your North American securities exam. That's what covers your blue sky law and interstate commerce. And that's what allows you to be licensed in multiple states outside of your home state, your resident state. Okay. So for my Florida people, you can be an investment licensed person with an SIE and a 6, but you can only do stuff for Florida. That applies to Florida, Louisiana, Colorado, and Puerto Rico, right? But in terms of becoming a regional vice president, you won't get it unless you have a 63 because you're only useful for like this much. Now, I'll promise you this. If you were the third regional vice president to become like my senior vice president promotion and you're in Florida, your ass is getting a promotion with a Series 6. Bet your biscuit. Because I was Andy's third, and literally me getting promoted made him a millionaire. Changed everything. Changed everything. All that extra like SVP bonus unlocking. I mean, yeah, it was crazy. So, but SIE 663 is the normal flow. All right. Questions on that? Which is why the timeline that I put under Matt's thing, 21st SIE, I don't know what I put, like March 7th, Series 6, March 21st, something 63. Once you pass your SIE, every 2 weeks you should be planning to take an exam. 663. Do not stop. Don't slow down. You're already in that mental flow of studying. You're like that is already in your brain. If you stop, you will come to a screeching halt. So do not stop, right? Once you get going in that flow, you are going. You're passing scheduling that. You can unlock the Series 6 curriculum before your fingerprints are done, before your U4 is filed. We just can't schedule your exam until that stuff happens because you have to be sponsored in order to take a Series 6 exam. Anybody can go take an SIE. But if you want to take a Series 6, your U4 has to be filed because your window has to be open. But we can unlock the curriculum for you and you can be studying immediately. Okay. So plan for that. And that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. Okay. Questions? Comments? Angela, did your 9:30 cancel on you?
The 9:30 hasn't confirmed yet, so we're just waiting.
Okay. Well, if you gotta go, then go.
If
And
she
then
confirms, I'll hop over so
yeah,
she shows up. Yeah.
yeah. Um, so for funsies, before I let Michelle go, I just want to show you guys something. Right. So this is a commission calculator for managed accounts. Managed accounts being your Series 65 license, right? So notice this says monthly compensation, right? Guys, once you hit about 20 million in AUM in a managed account, even if you stopped adding, even if you just stopped personally producing, what are you getting paid on average a month right here
10,000.
to wake up? That's residual. That's pure passive income, right? Now let's assume because like you really think I'm ever going to stop producing? No, right? Even
No,
just a
I
even
think
just a
yeah.
million a year after that, right? Look what happens 10 years from now. 10 years from now, you're making almost 25 grand a month passive. And that's only assuming a net 6% growth in those accounts. That's conservative as all get out. That's crazy. That's crazy. Even if you're not an RVP, look, because that's assuming personal production, right? Even if you're like a division leader with a 65 license, if you had 20 million in assets under management, you're still making almost 7 grand a month residual. Just to wake up. Guys, there are hierarchies out there that do purely investments. They're life licensed because they have to be. They have entire promotion schedules to RVP and along the way based purely on AUM and numbers of FNAs completed. So it's a crazy business. You can do it any way you want, right? But I mean, that is based on, but they also do no life, right? They do almost zero life insurance, which is crazy. It's like what the company was built to do both, but regardless. I just want you to understand that there's so many ways to get paid in this business. And if you look back to the senior leadership conference slides, when it talked about compensation, was more compensation paid for securities or life insurance? Do you remember? It was pretty
Was
close.
wasn't it life though?
Mm-mm. It was pretty close, but investments squeaked it out. Investments squeaked it out. This is why. Because if somebody wants to retire, and they're serious about it, are they really ever going to stop investing? Not really, right? Not really. And so the money grows over time organically, compounding. The investments continue to matriculate in, meaning that people don't stop, right? That's why we have PAC, pre-authorized checking. Guys, this is like this is it, right? When you want time freedom and financial freedom, this is it. Oh, by the way, you can also do it with no investments, but you have to build a massive, massive form of distribution through your hierarchy so that you have people at echelon, right, through 6 generations producing from a life insurance perspective to where you can override that and you can bonus. That's the other way, right? That's the other way. And so I gotta find it now. And Michelle, I know I'm taking all your time. I'm sorry, but I gotta find this media, the file. Vivian, there it is. So compensation paid last year, 1.25 billion. That's how much Primerica paid to the force last year alone. Okay. The milestone for the decade of dominance was to hit 1 billion a year in cash flow, and we already beat it. So if you guys are ever looking at these slides, you're like, what the heck does this mean? So the decade of dominance started from 2020 to 2030 when Glenn set it out. He said, these are the things we want to do. These are the things we want to accomplish in the next decade, right? Everything in green means we've already done it. And so if since we've already done it, Glenn, move the needle, right? We move the goalpost. So we paid 1 billion a year, right? We have already put last year we paid $1.25 billion in comp. This year we want to pay 1.5. Okay, well, 20 billion cumulative cash flow in field comp. We're at 24. We want to hit 30. That's crazy. Look at this. 10,000 50K a year earners. We're close. We're really close. This is the fun one right here. We wanted to hit $100 million a year earners before the decade was over. We're at 170. Guys, since the decade of dominance began, we're at what, 76 months? 77? I don't know. Somebody help me do the math, right? What's 6 years? Yeah, 72, 73 months. There's been $1 million a year earner newly created every month, minimum, one a month. That doesn't suck. Okay. So let's see. These are all like boom, 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 boom. All right. Here's some fun numbers for you, right? Current life sales force over 150,000. Look at the investment life sales force. 25,000, almost 26, right? I'm skipping through this because I want to see something here really quick. Here we go. Here we go. Total field comp, right? So this is US because obviously we have a Canadian piece as well. So if the US got paid, just shy of 1 billion, the Canadians got paid about 250 some odd million. But look, life, securities, right? There's other because you got like Vivint and all that other stuff as well. But look at securities, 52% of comp paid through securities. Let's go back up here though. Look what percentage of the force is investment licensed. I have no idea who Vanessa Rojas is, but she's she's gonna have to wait. Okay, so let's do this really fast. 25, 620 divided by 150, 1524. The numbers might be slightly different, but I just want you to see this. Roughly 17% of the force is investment licensed. Okay. Now, that's not saying just because you're investment licensed means you're an RVP. No, there are plenty of people out there that are investment licensed that are regionals, divisions, senior regionals, right? I'm telling you, I'm telling you. But what I don't want to happen, right? There are a ton of people inside Andy's base right now that are investment licensed, but that's all they are. They're not active, they're not producers, right? Same thing with life licenses. If you're gonna get it and you're gonna do the work, go produce, please, right? For your own sake. That's the big thing. That's the big thing. And so I just wanted you guys to kind of see this because I know we're talking about the investment licenses, we're hammering that, but this is why, right? This is why. And so on average, year over year, roughly 10% growth, right? Licensed. So whether that was investments or life, that piece should grow. Like life licenses should grow drastically, but it is what it is. A big holdback on the investment licenses too, just so you guys understand, is we have one language that you can take an investment exam in, English. You cannot take it in Spanish, you can't take it in French, right? And so that holds back a lot of your Haitian population. It holds back a lot of the uh, heavily Hispanic population that's in both California and Miami and Texas, where the biggest pockets of life licenses are. So just so you guys get some insights into the business. What else we got going on in here? Canadians don't care. We love them, but goodbye. Don't care. Canada. Record comp. Yep, here you go. There it is. It's easy. Now this is the entire company, right? Now, obviously, the investment cash picks up drastically when you consider Canada. It is easier to get investment license in Canada than it is to get your life license. Just so you guys have just some like insight into the business, right? So a lot of the extra cash that gets paid in Canada from the investment side is from uh or a lot of the extra investment cash is Canadian cash. Okay. Records, don't care about all these guys. This is a fun one. Look at this record career cash flow. Bob and Red Buisson have been paid over $126 million. Bananas. Freaking bananas. Okay. I mean, to even be on this list, you have to have been paid over 15 million in your career. I mean, think about that. Art, Art and Susan have been in the business maybe 30 years. So I mean, they're $1 million earners now, but they weren't always earning a million. But if you average that out over the entire time, that means they've made what, 550 grand a year on average since they started. I don't know, guys, like I don't know when it's going to happen for people, right? I can't promise you when it's going to happen, but I can tell you this. I don't think Art and Susan ever thought they would have made almost $16 million when they started. You just don't know, right? You just don't know. Over 150 new VPs last year. There's over 6,300 regional vice presidents in the company, right? In the business. And so when I get a little pissy and I get a little like persnickety about being in like th place 300, right? I don't know how many over 6,300 there are, but we'll go with that. We're still in the top 4.7% of the company, even with our, I don't want to say like they're not what we would expect for numbers in production, right? 20 by 20 is like the bare bones minimum. All right. Trillion, trying to get takeover. Yeah, we're good. Hey, here's a fun one though. Look, 547 days. What is it now? These slides are old. So 519 days to convention. counting down 17 months and counting, right? I don't know when the timeline is going to be for recognition for convention, but I'm guessing it's starting right now. If I had to guess, it would be right now, right? Worst case, it'll be coming out of Colorado. Conventions in Atlanta. So we take over Mercedes-Benz Stadium, right? And we shut it down. And so and this year's the 50th anniversary of Primerica. And so mark your calendars, guys, because you need to plan to be there. I've only ever been to one. I came in to the business right after convention had happened and then went this past July, right? A little over a year ago. And we normally do it every 2 years, but we skipped a year because we didn't want to do one at year 49 and then miss the 50th anniversary of the company. So now we're doing it at 50 years. So July of 27 is convention. You have to come. I promise you, there will be more people at this than there's ever been at a convention. And on average, Primerica spends somewhere between, I don't know, 5 to 7 million on a convention. I think the last time we were at home office, they talked about for 50th anniversary, it's probably been closer to 10 to 15. So I have no idea what's happening or like like it's not like we can build a whole new stadium. I don't know what the hell they're going to spend another like $5 to $6 million on, but I don't know. I'll find out when we get there. Right. Okay. So back up, recap. Questions, anything? Let's talk goals really quick. Let's talk goals really quick. At a minimum, because I want you guys to understand this. And Michelle, even if we don't fully get to it today, you and I can do like a one-on-one and just sort of like hash and we'll go from there. I need you guys to understand the way the resets and the point systems and everything works for trips. Okay, because you cannot screw this up this month and miss getting reset for the trip. Competition scoreboard, contest leaders. Is it going to make me log in again? No. Okay. So best in the West, this is what we're competing for, right? This is Colorado. Look in your category, right? So Haley, Angela, you guys are future RVP category. Michelle, you are life licensed after 12/5, right? That's you. And then Amber, Julia, if you guys are planning on competing, you guys would be a US future regional leader, right? But when it comes to getting reset, here's what I want you to see. I'll show you my points, right? So RVP and above, this is my category. So Andy and Brittany have about 1.4, right? I'm at 869. So if you look over the last few months, right, qualify and play up. This is why I hammer 15 by 15 because that for an RVP is playing up, right? This month, February, qualify and play up. When we hit 15 by 15, right, I will have played up and hit that extra 150,000 and there's a February reset that's going to post in here, right? So the reset, what will happen is since I'm already earning the trip, right? I won't get reset. What I will get is an extra 150,000 points. And so, for example, the reset would be so like if you're not on target, you're on the bubble, meaning you're close, right? You're close to being on target. So like below still competing, right? These guys down here. So let's go all the way to the bottom. Let's say Giovanni, right? Giovanni does his 1 by 1 personal this month. At the end of February production, at the very end of February production, whatever this person right here, in whoever's in the last place spot, right? Whatever their point total is, that's where everybody that did a 1 by 1 gets reset to. So starting in March, right? Everybody's on an even playing field. You've got an even footing. Now, like let's say you're like Merlene or Celine, however you say her name, right? Well, it's not really fair to her if she got reset and she gets like 50 points, right? So Primerica will do, the system automatically will give you the best thing, right? If getting reset up here gives you the most points, that's what it'll do. If you're like Celine over here and she does her one by one, getting her reset wouldn't really do her any favor. So she would get the extra 150,000 points. So in that case, she would jump to 630 something, right? And she jumps up into like the 400s. Okay. The reason Primerica does this is because every time there's a competition, it's a 6-month window for competition, but they always use the last month of this current trip to jumpstart and springboard for competition for the next one, right? I am fully anticipating that during Marco Island, we announced that the next trip in next February, right? So a year from now is either going to be Hawaii or like a Punta Cana all-inclusive because we haven't done that one in a long time. Okay. Because everybody fights like hell for those. And it's going to drive numbers crazy for convention recognition stuff. That's why. So just so you can kind of like fully see and understand, right? So Michelle, you were life licensed after. So ooh, red line's not working. Far. Look at you, girl. Look. So life licensed after, right? You're at 186,000 points. And so in this category, they're taking the top 10. Okay. Top 10 by phase. And so there's going to be 3 phases. So they're actually going to take 30 people. Don't get it twisted, right? But they ain't going to tell you that. So, but just so you know. All right. So for you, you're at 190,000 points. For you, getting reset for you is going to be huge because that's going to jump you up to most likely like 600,000 points. You need one direct recruit and 1,000 in personal life insurance premium that you write. So that's going to get you reset. Now, it's not going to be instant, right? Because it's not going to take effect until the very end of the month. So it's actually going to be better for you because it's going to keep growing your point totals and values. So by the end of the month, who knows? Like if Lucia does, if they play up, they'll be starting at 600,000 plus whatever they did for the month. So you may jump into like 615, 620. Who knows? Right? Just know that you won't see it until the end of the month, but everything else is going to get accumulated along with that as well. Okay. So that's huge, right? That's huge. And but guys, it doesn't matter. You could be in spot 10,025, whatever. It doesn't matter. You could be like off of the board. Your name even ain't even on the list, and you will get reset and you'll be up there and you'll be right there on the bubble. Okay. So there's Michelle. There's Lisa and Chris, right? Lisa's right behind you. Chastity, right? Girls, right? Haley, tell Chastity she's like right there. She needs to get her Tookus reset, right? That's the last one. That's the last one on here. So that's
And
the life licensed after category. I don't even know how Chastity's on here because she ain't licensed, but
I was gonna say she's testing Saturday, so
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I don't even know how she's on here because she ain't licensed. Hey, take it. Who cares, right? Who cares? Let's do this again, right? Because we're already in here. Qualification rules. I want you guys to see this. You got to understand. Like you can't win if you don't know the rules, right? Points. Points. Here we go. Builders production points, BPPs, okay? Builders premium points, who cares? Life premium, you get a point for every dollar, okay? So if you write like last night, I wrote a 1,500 max case, 1,500 points, right? You also get the same, you get 1,000 points for every recruit. You get 1,000 points for an initial securities trade, 10% securities production, same with mortgage production. Look where you get the most points. One license is 30,000 points. And it rolls all the way up, right? So Angela has Aspen. Underneath Aspen is her mom and her dad, right? So when her mom and her dad pass, that's going to be 30,000 for each of them and 60,000 for Aspen and 60,000 for Angela and 60,000 for me and Andy. It just keeps going, right? It just into infinity. And so that's the fat. So like, you think it's easier to recruit 30 people or help one person get a freaking license? Help one person get a license, right? But look where the big points come from. 75,000 points to qualify and another 75,000 to play up. Well, what the hell does that mean? Look at this. In Canada, you get 60,000 for a life license. That's how freaking hard it is to get your life license in Canada. It takes on average like 4 to 5 months to get life license in Canada. It's insane.
Why is their life license so hard compared to like our side of it?
I ain't Canadian. I don't know. It's something regulatory. I I don't know. I do not know. Okay. There are cash flow requirements to earn a trip, right? These are the minimum monthly averages, but if you hit the cash flow number, you're good. But on average, if you're hitting your numbers, you will hit your monthly minimum cash flows. Okay. Burr, 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 burr. Here's the numbers, right? We've been over this. We've talked about this. Salesforce designation. If you're a rep or a senior rep, you do one by one. So that means your new people right now that are brand new and they're representatives, if they get their one by one this month, they play up or they qualify at their level, right? So now they've done uh one by one, they've got 75,000 points. Oh, by the way, too, that one by one gets them in position for a reset, right? They're brand new this month. They've been competing against people that have been around for 3 months already. That's why Primerica does a reset to get everyone sort of like level the playing field because there's a bunch of people that have been earning it and winning for 3 months and they've been getting comfortable. And so Primerica says, okay, we're going to kind of shake things up a little bit, just like Andy does on a contest, right? District leader, 3 by 2,500. Guys, these are your entire team numbers, right? So let's say Haley's a district, she does a one by one. Angela's her senior rep, does a one by one. Michelle's her other senior rep underneath her that does a one by one. Haley's entire team just did 3 by 3. Haley just qualified at her level for 75,000 points. That's how quickly that can happen, right? Now, Haley's still a district and we want her to play up because she wants the extra 75,000 points. Well, her team just has to do another 2 by 2 total to get to 5 by 5. Okay. Regionals, right? So Angela, Haley, regionals. You guys need 7 by 7,500 to qualify. Okay. RVPs, 10 by 10. Or if I did 3 by 3 personal, I can qualify. I can't play up with 3 by 3 personal. Okay. But I can get my 75,000 points right here. Right. But 10 by 10 and then playing up for an RVP is 15 by 15. I don't know where it says it, but it does. I can like I swear I can never find it, but it's in here. Now, in order for you to qualify at your level, though, you have to do one by one personal. So you need a direct recruit and you need 1,000 in personal premium. Everything else can come from your team numbers. But in order to earn your 75,000 points and the extra ones, you have to do one by one personal. It says it right here. For all designation below RVP, at least one by one must be both personal production for life premium or 1 by 10,000 for securities. Regional leaders can only play up with a 10 by 10 or 10 by 100K. Okay. All right. Let me jump back over here. Any questions on this? I know I beat this horse, but like I'm serious. I'm tired of like I'm going to Marco Island by myself. That's not fun. That's not fun, right? It's not fun. And so understanding there's like the cash flow requirements and all that, right? You see these little weird at symbols, sometimes they're little hashtag pound symbols. It says right here, so not on target for premium, right? And then there are some that will say, let's see, RVPs. Because like I think Schaff is on here. Like see how our names have like numbers and then there's like a bigger number next to it? That's because there's like 50 people that are on this list that don't actually meet the requirements yet. Here we go. See how Abby Schaffner right here? So Abby's on the list. She's in position 616, but you see this little hashtag pound symbol. It means she's not on target for cash. So she hasn't made enough money yet to qualify, right? So as an RVP, you have to have earned 28 grand, 7 months, 4 grand a month. It ain't that drastic as an RVP, right? She's at less than 10. So if Abby goes this entire time and she qualifies and all that crap, and then she's only made like 27 grand, but she's still like on the list, she won't go. There's minimums, right? You got to meet the minimum. So you can go in, you can look at people, right? This is how I kind of go in and I look at people. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Right? I look at their names, kind of click on their stuff a little bit. This is how you can kind of go in and like sneaky link and kind of check on people. Like, why does she even have enough points? Well, it's because she's had 2 people get securities license and almost 10 people get their life license, right? So what's that? Close to 12, 360,000 points. Let's look at ours really quick. 5, 5.5, right? So Abby's got an extra almost 200,000 points on us just in licensing. Okay. We're kicking her tail in everything else and got all these. But licensing, she's eating us up. Right. So I know this was supposed to be drill for skill, but this is important. Like we have to understand this stuff in order to win. Because if you don't understand the way to play the game, you can't win. You can't win. And this is like, I swear, all we used to talk about, all we used to talk about was cash and competition. That's it. That's all we talked about. That was like we would have entire wolf packs just talking about cash and competition, right? And so like Daily Blast, that stuff comes out at 10 every night. Fridays don't even bother because it won't post until like 2 in the morning on like Saturday. But Mondays are a little slow usually. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 10 o'clock Eastern, right? If you think you're getting paid, go look. Even if you don't think you're getting paid, go look. Just get in the habit. Go look if you're still awake. I'm usually up until about 10:15 for that reason. And then I go to bed. Right. Yeah, it's just one. As soon as you pass your SI, you get 30,000 points. You get 30,000. I get 30, all the way. All right. So as soon as you pass it, it's 30,000 points. And then I wish it was I wish it was 30,000 for every exam, but it's not. It's not. That would be cool because then you could pull like 90,000 points just for that. All right. Totally off. Right, Michelle, if you were ready, you get to be ready again. Right. We'll give Angela's voice another break for tomorrow. But I've got 15, 20 minutes. Questions, guys. Anything you want, anything you need right now. Yes, no, maybe. All right. Let's talk social media really quick while you're thinking of questions to ask. Because yesterday, for whatever reason, right, those silly little posts about a remote whatever, right? These, whose was that? For some reason, Aspen's did nothing, which is weird because there were a bunch that did a lot. Amber, here we go. Right? Amber hasn't had any activity since Christ left Chicago, like Andy likes to say, right? But she posted this, and then right when you're going and checking on posts and you're inspecting, make sure you turn on all comments, and then come in behind and see and make sure nobody got missed, right? Sometimes you need to come in underneath these because you'll see ones that got missed, right? And then you can just kind of come in behind these and react. All it's going to do is help bump it. It doesn't matter. Oh, we already looked at that one. Tennille did one, right? She just used a black background, 16 comments. Guys, this one post has more comments and replies than her original opportunity post. That should tell you how little people actually read. I'm serious. Society has the like attention span of a toaster, right? If they can't look at it and digest it in about zero point 0.5 seconds, they're moving on. That's why reels have cover photos instead of actual things, right? And it's like you click a reel and boom, all of a sudden you're looking at something about like kitchen gadgets when you thought it was, you know, something more attractive kind of thing. But you get the idea, right? And so, look, even Crystal Waller's post, I think her original opportunity post had like 3 comments. Very, very little, right? And so get in here, engage these. So look, boom, Tate and Taylor. I don't know if they did or not. It had a heart on it, right? Which means Crystal responded to it, but she didn't reply to the comment. If I didn't see a reply to the comment, I'm just assuming that it didn't get done because then I'm just going to go bump it regardless. Because what's the worst thing that happens? They come back and reply and say, yep, I'm all set. Sweet. Another comment. Thank you. Right? Drive the activity, drive the activity, drive the activity. So get these going, guys. Right? Get these going. Help your people win. Help your people understand. Help your people understand this. Watch. Right? Barbie, no, not Barbie. Deanna, right? Deanna Coolars, I don't know, right? She's been in for a few weeks. She had 3,000 in premium already and 0 recruits. The month hadn't even clicked over yet, but the incentive was alive. Haley asked me yesterday, she's like, "Oh, do you think she's gonna get the new one or is it gonna be 400?" I said, "I don't know. We'll find out in the morning." Bum, 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 bum. Look what happened. Yesterday, she had a $50 bonus. Then she got 2 recruits and she already had the premium. So look what happened, right? Haley, your talk track with her needs to be, girl, listen, we need to get one more tiny little baby life app. I don't care if it's like your daughter and we do like a $15 a month because it's going to be enough to push you over 4,000 and we need to go get 2 more recruits. Even if you paid for somebody's license this month, Deanna, you'd be out of pocket like 200 bucks, but you would earn a $600 extra bonus out of it. Deanna, would you trade 200 for 600?
She did that yesterday for Barbies. She paid for it.
There you go, right? So a $99 IBA was worth a $300 return on a bonus. Plus, you get somebody with a big old fat hairy bonus like this, what do you think the odds are of them actually going and taking their exam? Way the hell up. Way up, right? And so this is how you incentivize people, but they got to see it because I promise you, people are not logging into their apps unless you drive them there. So here's a great engagement tool. Send your people a text this morning and say, hey, do me a favor. Can you screenshot me your bonus? Send me a screenshot of your bonus page. What's it look like? Because all of them today changed, right? They all changed yesterday, right? So Haley, she's actually, if she finishes her pre-licensing like we talked about, that she didn't do, she's going to get an extra 50 bucks. But that's running out of time, right? She's got 2 things in here. She's got 13 days left to get the extra 50, and then the bombshell goes for the rest of the month. Guys, we have to help people get big, fat, hairy bonuses this month because that's going to drive our licensing ratios up and people are going to stick. Okay? This is what it looks like. I put one policy on Evan's training account last night, and I thought it was going to take him over the top, but he's like at 39.20. So he's even worse than this one. It's like 80 bucks, like son of a bitch. So he needs like literally less than nothing. But listen, this is how people are going to get paid. We had a huge month like this 2 years ago. And just like Andy said this morning, we called it 3 for a G because 3 by 3 was 900 plus 50, right? Plus, if they were around last month and they've got the extra 50 for finishing their pre-license in the first 30 days, there you go, three for a G. Three for a G, right? And so help people understand that. Jen, Barbie, we got to get her going, right? We got to get her plugged in. And that would be a great way to do it, right? Because she hasn't made a Facebook post, she hasn't done anything.
It's something every day. It's some excuse every single day. Oh, my car stalled. I had to depend on two people to take me to walk the dogs, and then it was I ate something and my tongue swelled, and then it was my glasses broke, and I have to get new glasses. Then
I know. I
I
know.
say, why don't I just drive over there at Circa and we can just meet at
Yeah,
the sushi
seriously.
place? She's like, I don't have time to really do that.
Just cut her loose. She ain't the one. Cut her loose. Are you living? All right, I love you. All right, I'll see you in a little bit.
She's on day 21, I think, but she's under Molly, and Braden already quit. So I hate to pull her until for sure I know she's not gonna
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
try
So I mean,
again.
Just leave her.
just yeah, that's crock pot, right? Hey, let me know when we can get you going and you're ready to start making some extra money.
Is it just you and Jen?
No, we got eight of us. What's up?
I was gonna say run by the office.
Oh, yeah. Love you too. Melissa and I were actually talking about last night, like Wednesday mornings, potentially going to the office in Tampa. Just just going to the office, like just actually being there. So like for her, right? Like if she was around and she could actually get going on doing something, right? Go to the office and work out of the office. Because even if we just went in there and went into like the conference room, right? Just plugging in, being there physically, doing that. Obviously, if you guys aren't here, I can't bring you to the office. But Matt, when you're back, right, in the office, just a way to like go, show up, physically be there. So more to follow on that. She told me that I should start going to the office once a week. I think she was just trying to get me out of the house. I don't know. Feel like a setup. But all right, questions, guys. I know we're running out of time, and this wasn't the plan for today, but this was important. This was important. So I want you guys to kind of rework your goals, rework your goals for this month, right? You can put your big goals on the dream board and kind of lay those out, but this month, like I need you guys to set some goals, and I need you to be okay with accountability if we're not getting there, right? Because last month, like, man, I am tired of hitting 20 by 20 on the last freaking day of the month. That ain't it, right? That ain't it. And if we go back and we look at February or January's cash flow for the team, right? I think it was close to 7,000, something like that. Like Haley made that personal, her first month licensed. Now, I was writing the majority of the premium and splitting her on it, but do you think she cared? No, no. And that was massive activity, right? Massive activity. And so make that new post, right? Do the remote opportunity one, right? Just see what happens. Start having people share it, have somebody tag you in it, see what happens. Okay. And that's what's going to help actually grow this thing. Miss Julia, if you can hear us, like I would like you to make that same post as well, even if you just share that picture, right? And then tag Haley, tag me, and we'll run that. Haley, go back, or she's gone. Well, she had a template, but yeah. So goals for this month, guys. My challenge to all of you is go re-promote yourself to a district leader, 3 by 3, right? Because here's the fun part. If you're a district or below right now and you go re-promote yourself to 3 by 3, you're going to get the 1 by 1 and you're going to get enough to qualify at your level, right? Amber, right now you're a senior rep, so you go do a 1 by 1 and you're qualified at your level and reset. Huge, huge, right? So you're gonna get reset and earn the 75,000 points for this month. Okay. Let's get it going. Please. Please, please, please. Goal for this month for the team is no joke, 50 by 50. But look, with just 7 of us on here right now, if we all went and did 3x3, that's 21 new recruits. We all go do 3x3, that's 21 new recruits, right? Haley left, that's 24. Angela left, that's 27. So if we get 27 new recruits, how easily do you think we could get each one of them at least one? Probably pretty easy. And so if we all go get 20, if we all go get 3 and we each just get them one, we're over 50. That's how quickly it can happen, guys. That's how quickly it can happen. All right. All right. I'm out of here. It's 10 o'clock. We'll figure this out for the next one. Michelle, sorry, I hope you can hear me. But message me, text me if you've got some questions you want to go over before you get set to go tomorrow morning, and then we'll let Angela off the hook and give her voice a little bit of a break. Okay. All right. Bye, guys. I'll get this recording out.